Trust me, there's levels to this game. There's what you know, what you've heard of, and then there's what you've dreamt about. Today, we're taking you to the world or the realm that belong to only a few. We're talking about high horology. Let me upgrade you. So what Talk with Francis and Francis, let's get into it. Now, when we talk about high horology, we're not just talking about expensive watches. We're talking about watchmaking as an art form. Now, there's a difference between industrial excellence and artistic experimentation. Let me break it down a bit. When we talk about industrial excellence, you think about a Rolex. When you talk artistic experimentation, think a Patek Philippe Grand Communication. Think a de Bethune or an Acriva watch, for instance. Now, that is kind of where we're leading to when we discuss high horology. When we talk about high horology, there's three pillars to look out for in this conversation. Craftsmanship, which talks about the details in and finishing in making the watch. The complexity, which looks into the complications and the functions of the watch. And the identity, heritage of, let's just say, the philosophy of the watch. Now, the first pillar we're looking into is craftsmanship, which is going to detail the finishing of the watch. This is where you see more hand-done techniques in finishing, like perlage, which are like circular motions in a watch dial, anglage, which shows the beveling in the dial, the Geneva stripes, the finishing of the movement, the finishing of the dial, and the finishing of the entire watch itself. The second pillar to look into is the complexity, which deals with the complications. Now, when you talk about high horology, you are in the world of perpetual calendars, minute repeaters, tourbillons, gyro tourbillons, and whatnot. Not to say that you have to have those complications, those really outrageous complications. You can have a time-only watch that is so well finished in the detail of the dial that it qualifies as high horology. Now, the last pillar we look at is the philosophy. Now, this can be the philosophy of the brand or the philosophy of the watch put together, but more importantly, the time it takes into making these watches. When we are in the realm of high horology, we are taking industrial manufacturing out of it, and then we are focusing basically on hand manufactured, crafted watches. So when you talk about the philosophy behind the watch, you're looking into like the man hours that go into making these watches. So you would find that these watches are going to be low production because it's going to take a lot of time to make just one watch. So you see, the world of high horology, let's first be clear on some things. All the complications and these characteristics are not necessarily useful tools, but more like art that you admire on your wrist. High horology is more about intention, not hype, and definitely not about price. More of the intention and the creativity, and like I always say, the craftsmanship that goes into the watches. Now, there are a lot more synonymous these days with independent brands, and I get that, but the heritage maisons are not left out of it, because Patek Philippe have their grand complications, Audemars Piguet have amazing complications, Vacheron Constantin, Lang & Söhne, these brands all play in the realms of high horology. Now look at high horology like haute couture. Did I pronounce that right? Haute couture. I never know how to say that. Like haute couture in fashion, in the fashion world. Now, it also interests me that Chanel, for instance, let's take Chanel. You could have a haute couture piece from Chanel, maybe off the runway, and you could also, just go to the store and buy a pair of shoes off the rack. So they cater to both. With the heritage brands like, say, Patek Philippe, you could have one of the grand complications that are much rarer because they have limited production. Or you could have a Calatrava or an Aquanaut. Let's not go into the complexities of why those ones are rare now, but you get the idea. While the independent brands can zero in specifically on hot horology, put all their time into making fewer production watches throughout the span of the year, take time to make these watches so they don't have to have the, off-the-rack versions. All their watches would be hot horology pieces. So that's probably why you see, that term, the first thing you think about are, Roger Prejepi, F. Pigeons, and Philippe Dufours and co. But, let's not keep the heritage brands out of it. So how I see it is that in a world that is now obsessed with overconsumption, hype, and speed, high horology is that reminder that some things are worth slowing down for and appreciating better. It was fun talking watches, guys. Stay safe.